Hey, Amari, appreciate your time. The trajectory of Clemson is such that I think early on, particularly with Deshaun in those early years, that everybody was like Clemson fan, hoping somebody would knock off Alabama. You guys have had so much success now that maybe the tables have turned a tad and people kind of root against Clemson because they're tired of seeing you in Alabama. Do you care about that at all? Does the criticism of the program from outside matter to you at all, or does it maybe fuel you guys a little bit, as you keep going down this road of success? It's like, all right, now we get to prove somebody wrong again.
Of course. I mean, of course, we're not going to look at it and dwell on it too much, but we see it. Everybody sees it on the media and stuff like that. What people say, and, we use it as motivation. But at the end of the day, we're just playing for each other, and we're playing for Clemson and our standard, which is best. So that's what we do every single day. We come out and we prepare to our standard, and we just go out there on game days, try to play to our standard. So that's really the only thing we focus on is Clemson.
Our next question is Brad Senku from All Clemson.
Hey, Amari, I wanted to ask you, this Ohio State game, does it feel like a rivalry to you? And have you paid attention to maybe some of the back and forth that's been going on between the fans, like on social media? So does this feel like a rivalry?
Not to me, to be honest. It feels nothing like South Carolina rivalry and any other games that we may see as a rivalry. I feel like they have more beef with us than we have with them. So that's really one on them, to be honest. But I don't really see it as a rivalry, to be honest. It's just one of those teams that we've happened to play a lot since I've been here. It's been great games every single time, but I don't see it as a rivalry.
Next is Dennis Dodd from CBS Sports.
I wonder if you could describe Trevor as a runner. Obviously, he had the big game against Ohio State last year. I just noticed he's the second leading rusher on the team. He doesn't have the typical build of a dual threat guy. Just talk about that a little bit.
Trevor is low-key a dual threat quarterback. To be honest, he can run past anybody. If you have the wrong angle, he can definitely run by you. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people have slept on throughout his career, is his running ability and his way to escape the pocket if something's not there and get positive yards out of it. So he's just continuing to get better at that. And, hopefully, he's able to do that more in the playoffs. So, I'm excited to see how he does.
Next is Andrea Adelson from ACC Network.
More along those lines with Trevor, Dabo has said it'd be a crying shame if he didn't win the Heisman, but there are other players that maybe are getting talked about a little bit more in terms of the Heisman. How much do you think that's because we've seen Trevor perform at such a high level since his freshman year, and maybe some of the other guys that are in consideration this year did something that was perhaps a little bit unexpected?
Yeah, I feel like definitely, like you said, Trevor's been performing at this high level since he first got here, and I feel like people are just used to it, and they just expect that out of him. But they're missing out on, just like you said, the consistency throughout his whole career in the season, how well he's been able to perform at such a high level, and lead our team to victory every single week. So he's just great, man, and he's gonna do the same thing at the next level. I'm just excited to see how his journey goes and how the rest of the career ends up. But he's definitely, in my opinion, the best player in the country. So.
Next is Doug Lesmerises from Cleveland.com.
Murray, just what was it like for you this season once Justin got hurt, and just how much responsibility you took on? And then just why are you so effective out of the slot? What is it about your skill set that makes you so effective there?
Just coming into the season, originally, with it being my last year, I put everything into my preparation, just knowing that this was my last season out there with my brother. So, I wanted to give it my all and give my all for the coaching staff and teammates so that we can go out there, handle business. And as far as me in the slot, I just feel like my route running ability is good. The ability that I have to, move people in space, create separation is what I'm best at, and that's what I study the most. And what I worked on in the off season was, break points and, just route running, just becoming a student of the game. Because if you don't know coverages, you don't know leverage with the DB, any of that, you can't be a good wide. So, I just took the next level as far as preparation this off season and in season to, gain an advantage on the opposing team.
We'll now go to Anna Hickey from Clemson 24/7.
Hey, Mari. The wide receivers last year versus Ohio State, struggled a little bit at the line and just in general to kind of produce downfield. Is that something that you guys have made a talking point going into this game, and you kind of being really the only one among the players this year having faced Ohio State, or at least getting a chunk of plays? Is that something that you kind of take it upon yourself to make a point of emphasis, I guess?
Oh yeah, for sure. We're definitely aware we didn't play to the standard last year versus Ohio State. We didn't make the plays that we feel like was needed for us to win the game the way we wanted to. And we've been challenged by Coach Sweeney about that. So we definitely take that to hand when we're preparing to practice like that. Just knowing that we didn't make the plays needed that we needed to make in order to get the win the way we wanted to. So we've been working all week versus press technique. Just in practice, making those competitive plays against our defense, just to create that mindset, and get ready for the game. Because if you don't make plays in practice, you're not going to make it in the game. So just creating them habits in practice is just going to make it easier for you when it comes game time.
We now go to Stephen Means from Cleveland.com.
Hey, Amari, I know you only got a chance to go up against him for a half before he got ejected, but going up against Shaun Wade in the slot last year, what type of matchup problem did he have for you?
Just his length. He's very long and he can cover a lot of space very easy just because of how long he is and stuff like that. So, you got to play real smart as far as in space, making sure he doesn't get his hands on you, because if he does a great job and, staying on the hip and stuff like that. So that's just one of the things you got to study with him, is just how to move him off his feet, off his spot in order for him to not get his hands off you, get his hand on you actually. So, it's just one of those things where you have to study film, study his technique, and just find ways to attack him. So that's just part of the game. You just got to study the opposing athlete's technique and stuff like that, and try to find advantages to get on them. So.
Next is Zachary Brasler from the New York Post.
Maury, what are you going to remember the most about Trevor? He's got this great records, won a championship, put up these great stats. What is going to stick with you years down the road as you kind of recall playing with him?
Just the type of competitor he is. You see he only has one loss as a starter, and it's not just because he's been on good teams. It's because of the competitor he is, and he expects the best out of everybody, while he is expecting the best out of himself as well. So he doesn't like losing. So for losing, you can tell he's not going for it. So he's going to push everybody, to get the best out of them and bring their best. And that's something I'm gonna definitely miss from him. Is just a competitor that he is.
Mark, what do you remember last year after the loss to LSU? He went around the locker room telling guys we'll be back. What do you remember about that? And and how fitting is it that he's got a shot to win another title here?
For sure. That was just him being the leader that he is, just going around, just letting everybody know that it's gonna be okay, and that he has another year, and he's gonna make sure that we're back in the same spot. He's been doing that all year, just making sure that we're pushing each other so that we can get back to that stage, which is a national championship. So, that's been everybody's goal all year, and that's what we've been striving for and grinding for. So we all have the same goal in hand. We just gotta finish.
One final question from Matt Connolly from The State.
Amari, what do you think of New Orleans, and what is it like playing there? And then why do you feel like, for whatever reason, you guys haven't played your best down there?
Shoot, I don't know why we haven't played our best. I guess we just haven't had the best luck. But I like New Orleans. It's a nice city. With Bourbon Street and stuff like that. But with COVID and stuff, we're not even gonna be able to see anything for real. We're just gonna be there a couple of days before the game. Really be just like an away game. But of course, we know we haven't handled business there like we wanted to in the past. But hopefully we can get one this year and switch up the curse a little bit. But Coach Sweeney's definitely been reminding us about it. So it's definitely in the back of our minds for us to go in there and try to switch it up a little bit with a win.